Here lays my $1 million. Right here.
Your $1 million?
It's here.
There it is. Oh, I know. $1 million. Already, we're doing episode 127. You ready for this?
Yeah. Are we live?
We're live, babe.
Oh.
We are live.
Well,
live.
hello.
Hello. Let's start the show with our theme song. We're not talking.
There's music.
There is music, but we could still be talking.
Yes, that's true.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and your sommelier of cinema, Robert Meyer Burnett. But you're not here to see me. This ain't my show. You're here to see her of the lovely haircut.
Oh, yes, I did get a haircut.
You did get a haircut. And who are you?
I am Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell. I am the ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence,
and the enchantress of entertainment. And here we are with our 127th episode. Now, we got to address the elephant in the room.
What's that?
We changed our movie.
Oh, yeah, we changed our movie.
We were going to do Shane Carruth's Primer.
Yes.
And after watching the movie, while I think it's one of the great time travel movies ever made, and it's a triumph of low-budget filmmaking, we both kind of decided we didn't know if we could make a whole show out of it.
True.
Now, I mean, because it's more of an exercise than anything else. It's more of a really clever examination of time travel, but as a film,
I mean, the premise is really good.
Really good.
But it's mostly just them talking about stuff we don't understand.
Yes. And it's a little, I mean, I think anybody who's watched the movie knows that the first time you watch Primer, it's pretty incomprehensible. You either watch it again like I did the first time I watched it twice back to back, or you go to YouTube. And there's a couple of great
right,
videos explaining. And I just figured that, like, we still have to make a show. We still have to have fun.
Yep.
And the movie is, I mean, obviously it's no great shakes from a filmmaking point of view. Maybe it doesn't have to be. But so that's
the low budget feel didn't bother me.
All right.
That part didn't bother me.
That's good. Well, anyway, that's why we didn't do it. We got a letter about it, though. So we're going to still talk about Primer later in the show. But for now, I think it's just time to get our drink on. What about you?
Let's open up the wine.
This wine comes to us thanks to the official Burnettwork sommelier. I'm just the sommelier of cinema or sci-fi, but Julius Goodwin is the official sommelier of this channel, and he hooked us up with Knocking Point wines, and some more came. Elizabeth's still hiding one of these from last time.
I am.
She's hiding one. I don't know where it is.
I was traumatized because you drank
I know.
by yourself.
I drank one of these by
without me.
myself. I'm sorry. But Julius got us more because he knows of Elizabeth's fondness for this wine.
Yes, I was excited when I opened up
This
the
is
box.
the Pinchy from Knocking Point Wines. This is a delicious drop, as they say. So why don't I pour it up for you, love?
Pour it up, babe.
Pour it up. All right, then. There you go.
Why, thank
I'll
you.
pour some of Julius Goodwin's gift to us on the 127th episode of this channel. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's hear it to Edgar Wright's 2010 adaptation of the comic that was originally by, and hang on, let me make sure I don't screw this up as I'm looking at my notes here. The actual original comic is by Brian Lee O'Malley. I knew I was getting Brian Lee O'Malley. So why don't we try this first? We know what it's going to taste like, but damn, is it good. Now,
Yum.
this film has an interesting origin story, as comic book based films should. This comic, the comic that O'Malley wrote, only one issue had been made, and producer Mark Platt's development team had somehow got a copy of it. And they had also gone to see the LA premiere, the first screening of Shaun of the Dead back in 2004, 6 years before this movie actually got made. And they thought, after seeing the movie, that Edgar Wright would be the perfect director for this. Edgar Wright had previously worked on a show called Spaced. That was sort of a precursor to Big Bang Theory, but better. Very similar to my own film, Free Enterprise. And then he had made... He made the first of the Cornetto trilogy, which was Shaun of the Dead. And then he, instead of making this right away, he made Hot Fuzz. And it was interesting because the other volumes of this comic hadn't come out yet. So this film got made later. And Edgar Wright made this his third feature film. And I have to say that I have very mixed feelings about this movie. Mm-hmm. On one hand, it is beautifully directed. This film is...
Well, why don't we talk about the film before you get into how you feel about it?
Okay, why don't we do that?
Like we normally do.
Okay, well, I just wanted to give a little bit of a preamble, but all right.
I mean, you're giving away the cake before you bake it.
All right, I'm giving away the cake before I bake it. All right, babe, so what is this movie about?
Okay, so this movie is about Scott Pilgrim, who is a young man, 22 years old, like a nerdy, goofy guy.
But a hell of a bass player.
Yeah. He's part of a band called the Sex Bob-ombs.
Sex Bob-omb.
Which is an awesome name for a
It is an
band.
awesome name for a band.
And he is excited to tell his friends that he's dating a high schooler.
He is. He's 22 and he's dating a 17-year-old.
17-year-old.
Which, you know...
Knives, what's her
Knives
last name?
Chau.
Chau.
Knives Chau.
Knives Chau.
And it's interesting because he just comes in and says this. It's not like we meet her. We don't see any courtship. He just announces at the beginning of the movie that he's dating her. And
right.
we have to say, like, he lives with a roommate. Kieran Culkin plays his roommate.
Right.
His gay roommate. And apparently they sleep together in the same bed.
They do. They share
a bed.
the same bed.
They share the same bed, and it is Michael Cera, Scott Pilgrim is in the band Sex Bob-omb, so he's kind of a cool guy, but he's very, I would say this movie is full, all the main characters are beta males, as we have come to know them.
Yes.
There are no alpha males amongst this group of friends.
Yeah.
They're very much like alternative kind of.
Yeah, they're hipsters.
And I have to say the cast of this movie is unbelievable. I love the cast of this film.
Everyone's in
this movie. This movie is a who's who of people you're watching today.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody
They're all in this movie.
From Allison Pill, who is great as the drummer for the band, who is also Scott Pilgrim's ex, one of his exes,
right.
to Aubrey Plaza, to Chris Evans.
Yep.
To you got the Punisher because Thomas Jane shows up in a cameo role along with Clifton Collins Jr. So you got people who were in Clifton Collins Jr. was in Star Trek 09. He's been in so many genre films. Thomas Jane played the Punisher. Chris Evans, Captain America, shows up.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh, who played Superman, is in this movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's just full of people who played superheroes.
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson plays an ex-girlfriend, another ex-girlfriend of Scott Pilgrim's, who's the front girl, the front person for a pretty cool band. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
they're all in here.
This really does. If John Hughes had directed this movie, it would not have had a better cast. Mm. And a lot of the people that are in this movie went on and still are having great careers, even now.
Yeah, totally.
And it's so much fun to watch this because I saw this movie once in the theater.
I saw it once too, shortly after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman's in this movie.
Yeah, and I love Jason Schwartzman.
So it becomes a bone of contention amongst his friend group that Scott Pilgrim is dating Knives Chau, this high school girl.
Well, they're just not sure. Like, are you sure you want to date a high school girl?
Yeah, why are you robbing the cradle, buddy?
Yeah, but then she shows up at their door. They're about to rehearse.
And now we should also say that the music in this movie, the producer of Radiohead's producer was brought on by Edgar Wright to produce the movie, and they got people like Beck to write the songs. And the music, like all the songs that Sex Bob-omb play are great songs.
Yeah.
The music in this movie is great.
It is.
It's really, really good. And the first time you see him play, I think it's the Dump Truck song. Is that the song they rehearsed to? And it's clear they're good. They're like a good band.
They are.
They're a good band, and of course, Knives Chau is completely enamored, more enamored of Scott Pilgrim than she was. She becomes their biggest fan.
She does. She becomes their biggest fan, which is why they all accept her, because initially they're afraid, like, oh, is she going to be like a downer and bring us down? But no, she was total fan, geeking out.
And I mean, but I think that, you know, he hasn't consummated the relationship. They're not having sex. What they do is they play this Dance Dance Revolution / ninja battle.
Think he ever has sex.
No, he doesn't.
Even
no, he doesn't. He never has sex in the whole movie.
No.
But the extent of their relationship, and I think this is one of the shortcomings of the movie, is you never really understand the depths of these relationships that these people have are at the most superficial, thin level. There's no real human emotion or interaction.
None of the characters have any depth in this movie.
No, and I think that's a huge problem.
They're all one note. Like, they don't change in any way.
They're like ivory piano keys. You just hit them and they make the same sound over and over.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is Scott Pilgrim dreams of a girl.
He has a dream, and this girl with purple hair shows up in his dream. And the next day,
it's basically like the next day.
It's all okay. He meets her.
He meets her, Ramona Flowers.
Yeah, Ramona
played
Flowers.
by Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Is it he meets her in the coffee shop, or he meets her?
He sees her. I think at maybe the coffee shop.
Or at a party. No, it's at the party that he talks to her.
I mean, Anna Kendrick's his sister. Aubrey Plaza works in the record store, works in the coffee shop.
Right, she works
everywhere.
She's always there, like, telling him not to date her.
Yeah. And so, here's the thing. He sees Ramona Flowers. She has purple hair, and he's immediately in love with her because he dreamt of her.
Right.
But I think and I'll say this right now, one of the big shortcomings of this movie is why? Other than the fact that she looks a certain way, he's already in love with her and wants to date her, doesn't know anything about her.
Yeah, but if you dreamed about a girl and then you saw her the next day, it'd have quite an impact on you.
I suppose, but I think one of the shortcomings of this movie is, because the characters are basically one note.
They are.
This movie has no depth. It's really fun to watch, though.
It has no depth, yes, but also it's like a video game and a comic book mashed into one story.
Yeah, it is. It's like your favorite indie band meets your favorite video game meets your favorite emo movie. I mean, I think it's a collision of many different things that were happening with the generation that was raised in the aughts.
Yeah.
It's very much a product of youth. You know, if you're in your late teens and early 20s.
I see it as it's the millennials' Breakfast Club.
Well, that's interesting. But
what the Breakfast Club was to us, this movie is to millennials.
But do you think the Breakfast Club had real depth, where you have five characters.
I mean, there were just five teens.
Yeah, but they were really getting into their feelings, and they were talking about who they are, and there were questions of identity, and why were there cliques in these schools, and what divided these people up? Why did they not like one another? And they had this encounter group session, so they really got to know one another over the course of this day.
Okay, but it was a product of our culture back then as teens, and this is a product of the culture, video games, comic books, no depth, because they already had cell phones and all that. It's just a product of what teens were into at that time.
But I still think so we should talk about the plot a little bit more before we get into this, because
they're going to get mad at me for saying no depth.
Well, there is no depth. This movie has no depth.
No, I mean teens at that time.
No, of course. But I mean the thing is, so there's this idea that Michael Cera is going to dump Knives Chau because he wants to go out with Ramona Flowers. And he basically starts going out with Ramona Flowers, but doesn't quite come clean to Knives. And she's in love with him. And so there's a little bit of crossover there. But before they can get to having any kind of great love affair that everyone's going to remember, it turns out that suddenly Michael Cera's character has to fight Ramona Flowers' 7 evil ex-boyfriends.
No, exes.
Yeah.
Not ex-boyfriends.
Well,
exes.
oh, right. Pardon me. At first, he thinks it's ex-boyfriends, but
right,
yes.
He keeps saying ex-boyfriends,
7 evil exes.
but it's 7 exes.
7 evil exes.
And she even writes that when he gets her number, she even writes 7 exes under her name.
7 exes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I really can go with is that everybody has to deal with the fact that when you meet somebody new and you start dating them, you have to deal with their romantic history. Who did they date? How did they date them? What did you mean to them? Why did you love them? And there's a lot. I mean, I think the idea that you're having to overcome someone's past relationships is a really good idea.
It is.
Because we all have to. Everybody comes to grips with that.
Right.
Which I love that idea. That you know.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
And even having it as having to fight these people is a good idea.
Yeah.
The only problem is they don't show you like anything about what their relationship was like, why this person is an ex, nothing.
No, and that's I think about another movie that I it's not quite the same thing but I think of the John Cusack movie High Fidelity that's based on the novel by Nick Hornby.
Yeah.
You see flashbacks of all the girlfriends that he dated, and you get to see them and meet them and understand why they went out. This movie offers none of that, and maybe you could say that, well, that you don't get to see the past relationships of if you're going to date, you, the audience, when you date somebody new, you don't get to see the relationship they had with their paramours from the past. You don't see it.
No, you don't see it, but if the person is open, they might talk about it.
Right. But I think the problem, one of the, again, I don't know if it's a criticism, but while the film remains a little, to me it's style over substance, is that when these ex-boyfriends show up,
Exes.
Right, the exes. When the exes show up, they're just kind of assholes and weird, and they're supposed to be like video game. They're fighting.
It's a video game.
So they're not really real. There's no substance to them either. Like you can't. You're looking at, okay, Ramona Flowers is this really obviously cool, disaffected chick. I'm surprised she doesn't smoke in the movie, but they probably shied away from that. I understand. But I just, did that work for you? Like the idea of these exes, they all show up and they do battle. I know it's like in his mind, it's...
I liked the idea of it. It just becomes one note. Like every ex is the same thing. Like it doesn't even level up. It's like it doesn't get more complicated. It's just a battle, and it seems like he like easily defeats every single one of them. And it's like, okay, after the second one, you're like, okay, we have to do how many more of these? Because it becomes one note. It's like always the same thing. It doesn't get more interesting or more complicated or more anything.
Or more in depth.
Yeah.
Like the like he doesn't change his strategy based on who he's fighting.
Right.
And I would have thought like
he's completely the same throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, he doesn't grow. He's kind of neurotic.
He doesn't change. He's like the same jokes throughout.
And it's interesting when you meet Chris Evans, for instance. He's now a movie star. Like she dated him in the 9th grade. And when she's meeting him now, he's not really her ex. Like Michael Cera looks at this handsome movie star who's got it all. But she wasn't dating him when he was a handsome movie star. He was dating her.
He was a kid.
So why is he an evil ex? Like now that he's grown up and made something of himself.
Well,
I understand. It plays into the insecurity we all face. I get all that, but they don't make that connection because you don't, aside from Ramona Flowers saying, well, I used to date him.
If they had made her more deep, and then you could understand how these people made her feel, or how, losing them made her feel, but there's none of that. If that had been included in the story, it would have had a little more, something more, a little deeper and more interesting.
Right. Because
and
I feel
you would care. The problem is you don't care. You don't care. You don't care.
This movie's really fun to watch.
It is.
and all the transitions, and there's really clever filmmaking going on. The way they incorporate anime visual, like motion flash, when people are running and manga, and they've got all this cool
and
stuff.
I feel like it's a really unique film. Like when I first saw it, I was like, what is this? I had never seen anything like it. And I just thought it was really interesting the way it was like a comic book and a video game all in one. And I just thought it was such an interesting way to make a film.
And it is like a youth film because, there's the Scott Pilgrim Sex Bomb, all the members, they all want to make it. They all want to get signed to a record deal. And there is a character in the movie that we don't meet that they talk about wanting to meet, played by Jason Schwartzman, Gideon Graves, who runs this record company that they want to be signed by. And so there is a great element of like, okay, this band wants to make it, and there is, it harks back to other movies of its time, like Reality Bites was a movie that was so much like of the 90s. Yeah. Or something even older like Singles, Cameron Crowe's Singles. And this movie, like you said, it really captures a time and a place. Yeah. Coming out in 2010, it really represents the aughts, but maybe the lack of depth also represents that period of time.
I think so.
It's there are phones in this movie. They do have phones, flip phones were not yet at the era of real smartphones
but they do mention texting, so texting.
There was already texting, but there's no people aren't taking lots of pictures of themselves
right.
So it's
they're simple flip phones.
Yes. But so the movie, there aren't a lot of stakes.
Right.
There's not a lot of like, while Michael Cera most of the time is his own worst enemy.
But he easily defeats these exes.
Yeah.
It's not like you're like, oh, there's no suspense because he just easily just defeats them.
And the battles are all kind of the same.
They're all the same.
And they're all of these, I guess because he plays this Dance Dance Revolution ninja game with Knives Chau in the beginning, that's what he relates to. But one of the things I thought was, it would have been more interesting if each battle was somehow tied into the personality of the ex-boyfriend. Like, or they took us through a history of video games. Like the movie begins with an 8-bit representation of the Universal Studios logo, the Universal logo, which is really clever. Like all the way back to 8-bit and da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. Boom, boom, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na.
But it's played like an old Atari game or ColecoVision.
And what's really interesting about that is that predates these characters.
Yeah.
It's like they would have been too young to be playing these 8-bit games. So you have this 8-bit version of the movie, and I thought that what we're watching is all these battles, we're seeing them play out the same way, but it would have been really interesting to show the evolution of video games.
Right.
Like during the battles, like you go from that 8-bit game to a 16-bit game, like you go from Atari to Intellivision to the first Nintendo and work your way up to 2010.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
And so the battles are a little different because they do throw in like Mario or whatever getting coins for things and leveling up, and there's a lot of that of video game imagery, but it all is kind of one note.
It's one note.
And I think a lot of it's one note. And what's interesting to me is that, so anyway, over the course of the movie, he fights the 7 exes, finding out one of them is a woman.
Right.
From your favorite show that you're watching now.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, that's the girl from Good Girls. I was like, oh. Because I saw this movie once.
Right.
Before.
And she's in a costume.
Right. I thought that was kind of cool.
And I do think like this movie's very fun to watch.
I thought the whole vegan thing was hilarious.
Oh yeah, with Brandon Routh's character.
Yeah. That part, that was funny.
And then of course Brandon Routh is in the band.
He's in his ex-girlfriend's band.
And what is the name of the band is let's see. I want to know the name of the band is great.
Oh yeah. And it's the Clash.
It's something. The Demon something.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's the Clash.
No, it's this. No, it's something else. It's got a long name, and I'm.
Oh yeah.
I'm not, and of course, Brie Larson plays the lead singer of that band.
Yeah.
And Brandon Routh is like in that band, you know.
Right, he's the bass player.
Yeah.
And she's dating him.
Yeah, and they have like a bass battle and all that, which I look, I like all that stuff, but like you were saying, 30 minutes into this movie, it just becomes, you get it all, and it doesn't go anywhere else.
Right.
You know, it has these altercations, but the emotional stakes don't change.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Edgar Wright does such a great job with his transitions and all the effects and integrating it. It's fun to watch, but it's strangely one note.
Yeah. Yes. When I first saw it, it just blew my mind because I'd never seen anything like it. But watching it again, like, I had forgotten basically the story. I remember, like, he had to battle all these people to get the girl he wanted. And I remember the ending, you know, the big battle at the end.
Yeah.
But see, I forgot all the middle stuff because it was all the same.
Well, that's right. The story doesn't really change. It's he wants to date Ramona Flowers. He's jealous of her ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
Or exes. Meets them all, does battle with them, but then vanquishes them. What vanquishes
I don't
them?
think he's jealous of them. I think it's just this curse that she has on her because of Jason Schwartzman.
Right. Well, you find out later that the guy that's going to give him the record deal is her final ex.
Right.
Jason Schwartzman.
He's controlling her. Like, she has this chip in the back of her neck, and he's controlling her, and he's the one who set up this curse or whatever it is. This, you know, league of exes.
League of exes, of evil exes.
Yeah.
And like, look, the thing about this movie is it is monumentally entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun to watch, and it's shot by Tim Pope, who I believe shot the Matrix movies. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's just set in Toronto neighborhoods,
it's a fun film.
It's really fun.
I don't dislike this film.
No, I don't either. I mean, I really like this movie. I just, every time I feel, this is only the second time I saw it, but I remember I saw this movie with Dave Hargrove.
Yeah.
And I remember Dave and I walking out of the film, and we were both like really disappointed in it because it's so well made and so much fun, and yet it leaves you kind of empty because there's really no stakes. It's kind of monotone, and there's Scott Pilgrim has really no stakes at all.
No, because he defeats everyone so easily. You don't feel any suspense. Like, you're not worried about him. You know that he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and not only that, but Ramona Flowers like disses him at the end, like leaves with Jason Schwartzman. And she's like, I was obsessed with him. He wasn't obsessed with me, and I couldn't be around him. And then so this battle happens, and at the end of the movie, she comes back and walks.
He does the battle twice because he's killed in the first battle, and then he gets his one up and does it again.
He gets respawned,
and he has to do it again, so he does it slightly differently. And then Knives joins him, and you'd think that they would do the same moves that they do in the
ninja video game where
that
she does a backflip
cool.
over his back.
Yeah, that would have been cool if they'd done like the coordinated moves.
Well,
together,
you think that's where it's going, you know, and that's one of the things.
But that doesn't happen.
No, and I'm like, that should have happened because look, they all join forces to fight. It's like Knives joins forces with Ramona Flowers with him, and it's you know, I was waiting for this movie to have some commentary about relationships because everybody feels at some point when they meet somebody new, inevitably the conversation comes up. How many people have you slept with? Mm-hmm. Are you still in love with your ex? You know, there's all of these things that are, and I thought they could have woven a lot of that into this movie, and it really isn't there.
Right.
It doesn't diminish the fact that you're enjoying the film. I mean, in a way, not to draw a parallel, but I said it's kind of like Sucker Punch.
It is, and I was thinking that too. I was like, this is a lot like Sucker Punch.
Well, yeah, because the battles don't...
way more enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I mean, I I did like this movie a lot more than I like Sucker Punch.
I think he was inspired by this movie to make Sucker Punch.
But I look, I do think both films, both Sucker Punch and this, there's a lot of great craft in the movie. But this movie is...
Sucker Punch is a metal version of this movie.
Yeah! No, but I do think one of the things about this film that I love is Edgar Wright's direction.
Yeah.
I mean, the scene transitions, like,
Yes.
people be talking to one another, and from cut to cut, they'll go from different location to different location.
Yeah.
There's so much great filmmaking and cinematography in this movie that I could just watch this movie from that standpoint and really just let it wash.
Cool.
I mean,
you really get the sense that it's inspired by video games and comic books.
right, and it's just really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, from a technical standpoint and a directorial standpoint, it's really beautifully made. And so, I mean, as much as I can sit here and because I'm demanding a lot of this movie, like, the question that you have to ask yourself is, do you think that Edgar Wright succeeded as a director in setting out making the kind of movie he was going to make?
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, but then again, it's like the story has to be there. And the story is, the premise is good. It's just there's no depth to the characters. There's no arc.
You also never know, what is it that Scott Pilgrim sees in Ramona Flowers?
Right.
I mean, they have a few conversations, but she doesn't, beyond being a literal dream girl, there's no there. And, you keep waiting for her. Like, she's nice to him. She doesn't reject him. But where's the connection? How are they connecting?
Yeah.
Like, clearly, he likes playing music, but then he's like, nope, he tells his friend, you take over the...
Yeah.
You be in the band.
If you love what you're doing, you would never say that.
I mean, I wanted to like Scott Pilgrim in this movie more than I do. And it's not because it's Michael Cera does a bad job. He doesn't. But I think the script sort of lets him down.
Yeah.
It lets down all these people because you're waiting. Like, I liked all the other characters in the movie, more than I liked the leads.
It's true.
Like, even Kieran Culkin, who's the gay roommate, who's
yeah.
all knowing, all seeing. He's the Ezra Miller character from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I mean, he's
really one of the more interesting characters.
Yes, and I do like the way that this movie is non-judgmental about that. I mean, he's more that he's got everything dialed. Mm-hmm. And I do like the music and everything, and I do think that the Battle of the Bands, like when they're fighting the two Asian brothers, the synth players, I mean, I like that. That was really cool. The music was really cool. So there's a lot to love in this movie, but I don't love the movie.
Yeah.
I love a lot about it, but I don't love it. And I want to.
Yeah.
Like, when I watch it, I want to love this movie. And I wonder do you think that's generational because we're older?
I think that's part of it, but also, I mean, the story, it doesn't go anywhere. That's the problem.
Right. You're not on a journey.
You're not on a journey.
There's no, the plot is, he falls into, well, I guess I have to fight your evil exes. Well, why? I mean,
he never questions why. He just does it, and then he easily defeats each and every one of them. And the battles are pretty much the same, except he gets more points for everyone.
Well, and also, like, there's other things. Like, Chris Evans, he just challenges Chris Evans to ride the rails.
Right.
And Chris Evans does it, picks up a lot of speed, and the idea is, at
the end he falls and
he crashes and explodes, and he's gone. But... He did ride the rails.
He did.
He is an expert skateboarder. I mean, it's like, what am I supposed to take away from that? You didn't, Scott Pilgrim, you didn't defeat Chris Evans. No. Chris Evans did something I would imagine is the first time anyone has skated 300 miles an hour down a rail, down a banister or whatever. I mean, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so who really won? Chris Evans seems to be...
Well, I mean, his life died, so his video game life died, so that makes Michael Cera the winner.
I guess so. And he did defeat his entire stunt team.
He did, which you don't get to see, but... Was it fair to have his entire stunt team?
Well, it's still he defeated him. I mean, it's just that's the thing. I think that the movie's a little muddled in what it's trying to say, and I wanted more of that.
Yeah, a little more depth.
A little more depth.
And a little like an arc to the story.
Right.
The story's like this.
I mean, there's a lot of style over substance here.
And the style's cool.
It is cool. I mean, and sometimes maybe that's enough. You know, maybe by me trying to apply my traditional storytelling values to this,
Yeah.
I'm missing the point.
Well, it didn't do well in the box office, so I mean, it's one of those things that gained popularity.
Why do you think it didn't do well in the box office? Because it clearly, like, it's a generational movie, but it didn't really connect with the generation that it was made for.
But people still love this film. It's got high
Well, it's
ratings.
like a cult movie.
Mm-hmm.
The people who love it really love it. But I think that you have to be a particular kind of person that's open to this kind of movie.
Yeah, I mean, I love the whimsicalness of it.
I do too. There's a lot of whimsy.
That's why initially, when I first saw it, I was like, "Wow, this is a really cool movie." I really liked it.
Well, it is a cool movie.
I just wish it had more depth. Like the story, the characters had more depth. Like you actually felt like they were real people, even though they're in a comic book video game. I wanted a little more humanity.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's a construct.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. Even Ramona Flowers remains this elusive dream girl.
Yeah.
And when they have these conversations, I mean, and it's never, it's always like, oh, we have to meet the evil ex-boyfriend or the evil ex first, and then she'll go, oh yes, I dated him too.
Right.
Like there was never any setup. Like she didn't say, well, you know, I've had these 7 people that meant a lot to me in my life, and he's like, really, 7 people? And she didn't like give you a preamble or set it up. So it could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody.
Like her first boyfriend, the Indian guy. The guy that he shows up and doing the superhero landings and looking like Avi Shankar or Ari Shankar. Addie Shankar, the producer.
He does a Bollywood dance.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and it's like, okay, you know, but I get it, but why do you love this guy? What was the relationship like? I mean, okay, if you dated when you were little kids, does it matter? But we saw in a movie like High Fidelity that one of the girls that he was in love with met, you know, they were under the bleachers and they were like in junior high school.
Your first love means so much to you. Like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
It is. I know it's a big deal. But so overall, you liked the movie.
I like the movie.
I liked it too, but it's a movie that I want to love.
Yeah.
Because it's so beautifully made.
Yeah.
It's so beautifully made, and there's so many clever touches and the transitions and the filmmaking. And Edgar Wright directed the hell out of this movie. Mm-hmm. But I feel the story and the screenplay let the movie down.
I think so too.
And it bothers me that I don't love this movie more, because I know people that adore this movie.
Yeah.
And I want to love this movie.
I do too.
And I'm like, it's good.
It's whimsical.
Yeah, it's good. But you know, it's long. This movie's almost 2 hours long, and it feels long. Yeah,
because there's 7 exes, and you're like, and the battles are all the same. So you're like, oh, we're only on X number 3. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's funny. I always feel like and I wonder if the fault is not with me. Like, normally I think that my taste is pretty good. But when I watch a movie like this, I'm wondering if the reason that I can't connect with this movie is because I'm just too fucking old.
I don't know. I mean,
I'd like to believe that isn't the case, because I've watched movies from every era, and I get it. Like, I love movies from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, every era. This movie should be right in my wheelhouse.
It should be.
It should be right in my wheelhouse, and I love Edgar Wright's work, but this is my, I think, least favorite of his movies.
Yeah.
And I should love this movie, and it bothers me that I don't.
Well, you know, being a storyteller as you are and a filmmaker, you get it. Like, you get that the story is lacking.
It is lacking. But maybe it's not supposed to have more.
Well, I mean, I think we can expect more.
I think so too. I think so too. Well,
are people going to hate us for
I don't know if they're
going to
hate us. No, I think maybe, we have a lot of letters.
Okay, let's read some.
We have a lot of letters. There's a lot of people that have written into us. So I should say, people will be like, how do you write into us? If you haven't watched the show before, if you're new around these parts, you can go to the Burnettwork, Burnettwork, one word, theburnettwork.net, and you can send us letters free of charge.
Yes.
And we have a lot of letters tonight. The first letter comes from our daily letter writer, Omar94. Omar94 says, since you two are doing Primer as your most recent film and have done Back to the Future beforehand, this gave me an idea. You can take under consideration but not actually have to do it if you don't want to. As an idea to do another time travel movie after Back to the Future and Primer, maybe do a WINEning for Somewhere in Time, starring Christopher Reeve, Jane Seymour, and Christopher Plummer. I really like the movie, and I think it's an underrated time travel movie, but it's also an underrated movie overall. You no longer do that Romantic Friday thing. Well, we are tonight. This is Romantic Friday.
That's right.
I chose
this
and you
film.
chose it. So this movie is about romance. I thought of it since it has to do with time travel and romance. As I said earlier, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it was just an idea I
don't think I've seen that
since
film.
you were doing. Oh, you haven't seen Somewhere in Time? You would love Somewhere in Time.
Is that the one where she leaves letters in the desk? And
No. Oh.
That's Jane Seymour.
Yeah, it is.
Is it the one where he finds letters in the desk?
Yes.
I liked that movie.
Yes. No. You. Of course you.
We should do it.
I don't own it. I'd have to get it, but we could.
I love time travel movies.
This is a very. Hang on a second. We've got two passionate defenses of Sucker Punch.
Okay, bring it on.
I'm going to save this one. I'm going to read. Mario Lopez from Portugal writes in first. Mario says, in defense of Sucker Punch, the director's cut. Hi, Robert and Elizabeth. I respect the fact that many people hate this film, considering it offensive. After all, we're talking about abuse, rape, and even the lobotomization of a young girl in an institution that was supposed to protect her. I can see that this film was a bad experience for Elizabeth, even revolting, but I hope you both believe that there are people who appreciate Sucker Punch.
Oh, I believe it.
And if people give us a chance, they will see that it is not for the reasons they think. In view of what I saw in your program, I would like to mention a few points. Baby Doll's mother was not poisoned. At least, nothing is said about it. With regard to age, the actresses were between 23 and 29 years old at the time. As for Baby Doll, and this is what I found on the internet, the character was 20 years old. As for Emily Browning, who was 23 at the time, she did, in my opinion, a great performance, not only in the dramatic scenes, but also in the action scenes, and by the way, a great compliment for being the singer of several songs in the film. Another great representation was that of Oscar Isaac. Blue really is a monster. The action scenes are the ones that interest me the least. I do not mean to say that I do not find them visually spectacular, very well planned by those who choreographed them, executed perfectly by the actresses, and directed in a way that only Zack Snyder knows how to do them. But what I'm most interested in talking about is the story of Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch's weak point is also Sucker Punch's strong point. I'm talking about the fact that the film is confusing and difficult to understand, which gives him something that I find almost unique in cinema, which is the fact that on one hand it generates such opposite emotions, and on the other, because it has several interpretations about what's going on and how it ends. I think Zack Snyder never wanted to reveal what his vision was for the film, precisely because he wanted his film to be the subject to debate for many years, like others such as Inception or Lost in Translation. Sucker Punch is an enigma that we must try to discover or understand. I've seen this film many times, and I can say that although there are you dirty old man, and although I can say that there are many theories about it, the one that I happen to believe most correct is the one that was presented by Mark Stratton. Here is a link to the video. All right, I will put this Mark Stratton video into the live chat. So let me do that. There is that video. There are other theories also interesting which can be found on YouTube. I suggest that for the purpose do the search for Sucker Punch Explained. I find Mark's explanation of the meaning and symbolism of the 4 objects that the girls have to obtain particularly interesting. Even more interesting, his explanation for the meaning of the following female characters: Baby Doll, Rocket, Amber, and Blondie, and what each represents in the head of Sweet Pea. In fact, something that most people do not see, but that those who seek to solve the enigma that the film is, that Sucker Punch is not Baby Doll, but Sweet Pea's story. No, I get that. Finally, Sucker Punch is a psychological film that resembles in style to anime or heavy metal, and that is not for everyone. But I understand, and I'm not sad that there are so many people who do not even want to try and research some things about this movie. Basically, I'm glad to like something that almost nobody appreciates or values. I still remember when Blade Runner was an obscure film which was given little value at first. Today, everyone praises this movie. I just hope that you, Rob, and especially Elizabeth, don't think too badly of those that see Sucker Punch as something more than an exploitation movie or female empowering film. Yes, because both approaches exist and both are legit. Kind regards, Mario Lopez. That was a good letter, Mario. Thank you for that. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, great letter.
You buy it? You buy off on it?
I mean, I don't hate people who love that movie.
No, I don't either.
I think if it means something for you, I'm very happy. I'm glad that it means something for somebody.
This letter is from a first-time letter writer named Andrea, however you pronounce it. I'm not sure which. Let's take both, Andrea or Andrea. Hello, Robert, Elizabeth, and the Post-Geek Singularity. My name is Andrea, and I'm writing to you in regards to your recent review of Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. This is my first letter, and please excuse me if my writing is a little bit off. I was deeply saddened by your review. Not because you thought the movie was bad or anything, after all, art is subjective, but by the notion that the movie made Elizabeth feel the way she felt, when in fact, I had a completely different reaction. You see, when I was 19, I had a terrible experience at a student party. It really took a toll on me and caused me bad anxiety and depression. For years, I couldn't get out of the black hole that was my mind, and this movie was a big step forward that allowed me to start again. To call this film misogynistic really brought tears to my eyes, especially coming from such an intelligent woman.
Now I feel
So
really
if
bad.
I may, maybe I could bring you a different perspective on it. You may. So, why do the girls dream about brothels and being in capture? Well, in the years to come, I also had a lot of dreams. No doubt I wanted them to be about nice things, but I just couldn't. My experience in the real world affected that, and my mind was just in a prison. It is something I couldn't control. I couldn't escape it, as the girls can't. Also, why the hell would they wear the things they wear? In wars, battles against robot samurais, and etc. A reporter asked Zack Snyder why he chose to dress them like that, and he answered, I didn't dress them like that. You did. The audience did. And I just loved his answer. The movie portrays the men as us, the audience. It really is a critique of us, our culture, especially the gamer and geek culture. The culture that sees women only as objects, something only used for pleasure. The men come to watch the girls dance and choose them. They're looking at them only in one way and only wanting one thing. Baby Doll's dance is said to capture the looks and eyes of everyone. It is just so sexy and filled with passion that every single guy in the brothel stops to watch. Everyone wants to see it, as well as we, the audience. But we never get to see her dance. What a sucker punch, eh? The fact that Zack isn't showing us the dance is the exact point and critique the movie is trying to make. You don't get to see it. You don't get to see her only as an object of lust. The girls fight. They make the decision to take power back by wearing those clothes in various missions. They embrace their beauty, strengthen their mind, and basically spit in the face of the men that objectify them. I wish I had that kind of strength at the time. That's why I think the movie is set as it is. Baby Doll and Sweet Pea just can't escape their reality. They have to fight against it. And since this is Sweet Pea's story, I always assumed that Baby Doll was her imagination, her guardian angel that comes to help her escape, helped her find peace and strength. The men may have her body in possession, but they can never own the most important thing to her and them. They can never have her mind, her peace that she created for herself at the end. A quote from the film says, "Your fight for survival starts now. You don't want to be judged, you won't be. You don't think you're strong enough, you are. You're afraid, don't be. You have all the weapons you need. Now fight." Well, this movie made me fight. I'm still in therapy, still feeling the consequences of the attack, but still fighting step by step. I enrolled back in college, and I'm doing pretty good, if I may say. My life has started back again. This movie made me a fan of Zack Snyder, although it's kind of a messy movie, as most of his movies are. He really should hire you as an editor, Rob. The message spoke to me. Although he maybe could make it a little more obvious, I feel like a lot of the people don't get it. Or maybe this is just a critique on us as a society. I really find myself enjoying his art and also him as a person. He and his wife often do streams with fans and talk to them about all kinds of topics. They really do seem like good people with big hearts. I find it of no surprise listening to people they work with speaking about them in such high regard. And Rob, please find a way to get him on your show. That conversation would be beautiful. P.S. Thank you, Elizabeth, for taking care of Robert and making him eat and live more healthily. We need Rob to live until he's at least 100.
Yes.
I sincerely can't imagine my day without one of his shows. Every time I have to walk somewhere or have spare time, I always listen. I love that you base your channel on positivity, free speech, and respecting everyone's opinion, even when you don't agree with them. You have become a sort of guardian angel and a mentor to all of us. And for that, thank you, Andrea.
Aw.
This is why we do these shows, you know.
Yeah, this was a beautiful letter. And I am so glad that the way I saw the movie can be completely different for somebody else. I really, that was a beautiful letter.
Well, you know, I think what Andrea is saying is something that we have to remember. You know, I'm always banging on about how I believe that great art has objective greatness in it.
Right.
But the way that individual people see things, they bring their own experience, their own lives to things, and subjectively the way other people see things is not always the way we might.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make
totally.
us right or them right or us wrong
Absolutely.
or them wrong. For Andrea, this was an important film for her, and I understand why.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
she has
Me too.
unfortunately, a very real world connection to the kind of abuse that this film is about. And I've had a little bit of a connection with that in my own life with somebody that had that happen to them when I was in high school. So,
I think all women experience some level of abuse. But the way I saw it was opposite of the way she saw it. And I'm so happy that it could actually give her strength and be meaningful for her.
yes. Listen, Andrea, that was not an easy letter to write, and especially for you to write it for you knowing I would read it on this channel.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your trust, and I want to thank you for such a heartfelt letter. And really, it's kind of the reason why, you know, I do these shows. And the fact that you would share so much of yourself is very meaningful, especially on a show where we're, you know, literally whining about movies.
Yeah.
So thank you for elevating this show and making it more than it is. Your contribution is exactly what the Burnettwork and Whining About Movies and Robservations and all of these shows are about. And I can't thank you enough for your courage and your words. And I think everybody who hears them will feel the same way.
Yeah.
So thank you for writing in. How do you follow that up? Mario Lopez corrects his first letter.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Robert and Elizabeth. Regard to the period in which the film should be located, I believe that it should be located more in the 60s and not in the 40s, as I said earlier. You are correct.
Yeah.
Regarding Baby Doll's age, somehow I missed the part of my text that said, although she could be 20 years old, I agree that she seemed younger. Kind regards, Mario. Well, thank you for that, Mario. I appreciate that. Now, this comes from Joe Dick, a new letter writer writing a lot. This is about King Kong, or Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay, cool.
Bonjour, Rob and Elizabeth. It's nice to have Elizabeth back. I particularly enjoyed this show on Sucker Punch. Elizabeth's unrestrained venom was very entertaining. But right now I want to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. I keep wanting to call this Kong vs. Godzilla for some reason. Maybe I wanted the big ape to win. I went into this with very little knowledge about these two monsters, at least in their modern incarnations. I kind of liked the much less believable earlier Japanese stuff. Less believable FX, I mean. But bad effects can have its charm. Nothing in these movies is believable, but we suspend that disbelief. Godzilla vs. Kong put that to the test. These newer movies are all tarted up with CGI out the ass. But it's like some bimbo whose beauty is all from surgery and implants. It seems kind of empty. Instead, give me the guy in a rubber suit. A lot of people might think I'm insane for saying that. I'm reminded of one of Ebert's criticisms of the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. He thought Spider-Man seemed too much like a video game figure, and in some ways, things haven't improved in the 19 years since. So I didn't see Godzilla King of the Monsters or Kong Skull Island until after Godzilla vs. Kong, but no big deal. I figured I should be able to go into this movie and know what's going on. They want to make as much money as possible, so make it as accessible as possible. All you need to know is that two giant monsters are going to drop gloves and throw down. What did take me out of the story was how so much else didn't make sense, even if you'd seen the other movies. A battle of two titans, anyone can understand that. Kong versus Godzilla, Superman versus Batman, Gilgamesh versus Enkidu, Kramer versus Kramer, whatever. But where do these spaceships come from? Who made the Hollow Earth? I didn't mind the introduction of the Hollow Earth itself. I never thought these movies should be slaves to real-world physics. They don't take place in the real world, but give us some explanation. Don't leave us wondering, or will it take you out of the story? And that sucks. When you get immersed in a movie or a play, it's great. Years ago, I read Asimov's annotated Gulliver's Travels. He talked about the impossibility of the giant Brobignanians, 12 times our size, too tall and too heavy to stand up. Kong and Godzilla couldn't exist based on that alone, but that's okay. That's not a complaint. I can suspend disbelief up to a point. This movie asks too much. You make rules for your fictional world and you stick to them. I think Tolkien might have said that. Anyway, explain it in some way, even if it's with some bullshit pseudoscience. It doesn't bother me that in Star Trek the warp engines couldn't work the way they do. Magic in Lord of the Rings is complete nonsense. It is magic, so it has to be nonsense. But they lay out the rules and stick to it. It works. In that world, it's possible. But the explanation shouldn't raise other unanswered questions. So, okay, the physics are different in Godzilla and Kong's world. I buy that. With a Hollow Earth, they'd have to be. Or there's something different about their physiology, or both. The idea of traveling through the center of the Earth is an old one. I remember reading something once about the difficulties of ever doing that, partially due to the molten core, but also the physics of it, with the way gravity behaves that far down. The physics of this universe must indeed be very different. No molten core, a completely hollow Earth, or something else. Fans have speculated on a lot of this, but there's nothing in the movie to answer it. If aliens had built the hollow Earth, they could have installed giant solar lamps. There could be that or other pseudo-scientific explanations. Even if they would work in the real world, they would be or it wouldn't work in the real world, they would be satisfying enough for a movie. Those little spaceships, though, were centuries ahead of us with no explanation. The Hollow Earth is the key to explaining the rest. They should have included a lot more of the stuff. Conspiracy theories, Roswell aliens, or should I say conspiracy hypotheses. Alien tech could explain those ships and Mechagodzilla. Too late to say it's a flat Earth, whatever else. In this universe, Oswald was a patsy. The Holocaust? Okay, I'm not going to use that one. Not every conspiracy theory, but a lot of them. Aliens built the pyramids and were responsible for the Caramilk secret. Whatever. The kind of stuff you might have heard on Coast to Coast with Art Bell. Anyway, you can't go wrong with including aliens in a Godzilla movie. My favorite Godzilla movie is Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. Give me that as an explanation. Fine, that's in Godzilla tradition. As part of the explanation, what about the light source in the Hollow Earth? Where does air come from? There's so many questions, and aliens wouldn't be enough. Just like, hey, it's none of your business. Watch the movie and stop thinking isn't helpful either. But that's all we get. In Jurassic Park, they gave us this bullshit explanation of DNA trapped in amber. Even though it was bullshit, it was at least an explanation that you could stop thinking about it. I'm not sure how to explain the takedown of Mechagodzilla by spilling some liquor on a computer. The lax security of that place equaled only by their inept engineering. If you're going to do something like that, get Jeff Goldblum. We believed in him and his laptop in Independence Day. Okay, we didn't, but it was Jeff Goldblum. Earlier Godzilla movies weren't shy about putting in aliens and all kinds of crap. Whatever they needed to explain whatever crazy thing they wanted. It works in context. If something classy like Citizen Kane, people would be scratching their heads. In a monster movie, it works. Some people bring the class, others bring the trash, but trash can be good too, as Dieter Bastian will tell you. People often complain about the boring human drama in these movies, but you need that. Bore us with all the human stuff and make us Jones for the monster fights. When it happens, it's all the sweeter. Ever see Alien vs. Predator? The public thought it wanted wall-to-wall monster fights. They gave us what we wanted, and it sucked giant elephant cock. It would have made more sense if at least one of the entrances to the Hollow Earth had been Skull Island. Otherwise, what's Kong's food supply, and how did he get there? The island could not have supported him before he reached his adult size. He could live in the Hollow Earth, with Skull Island as his weekend getaway. His man cave, problem solved. Or not, because you still have problems of food supply and a lot of other things. Of course, he's more than a giant gorilla, because gorillas are actually pretty gentle and are vegans. Kong's not. Why not? If he lives in the Hollow Earth, it explains why he never knows about the rest of the world, when the only entrance to the Hollow Earth he knows of is on an island, in the middle of nowhere. Despite his size, he's got a monkey's pea brain. If the Kong species are super intelligent, it would make sense who made that axe and all the other stuff. I guess this Kong is the Forrest Gump of his species. I read something recently about a group of mastodons isolated on an island and the problems caused by inbreeding. Maybe the Kong species went the same route. But we're never told any of this. I was often taken out of the movie wondering, wait, what? Where did that come from? Who built that? How and why did that happen? And other questions. There could be other entrances to the Hollow Earth around the world, including, of course, one near Japan. Who put them there? Aliens? I guess they created the Hollow Earth, too. We're left wondering. A question answered brings up 1,000 more questions. It's almost as though the writers didn't care about the story. Did they think up the action set pieces first, needing only some thin story to link them together? They might have thought, people only care if it looks cool. They won't ask why. They know people will see this movie no matter what. But audiences might be less forgiving in the future. As cool as it is to see giant monsters fight, that alone isn't enough without a better story to justify those fights. One of the Red Letter Media guys accurately described the story as seemingly written by a child. Agreed. Okay, Kong now rules in the Hollow Earth. Where are the others of his species? And other Godzillas? Where's Lady Kong? Maybe that's why these monsters are so angry. Then again, Godzilla doesn't seem to have any junk. Maybe it's hidden inside, like with the creature in the shape of water. Or Godzilla's female and on the rag, and Mr. Godzilla's down in the Hollow Earth, waiting out the storm. Does it diminish them if Kong and Godzilla are just one of a multitude in a species? I think it does. These days, it seems like a lot of movies only exist to set up other movies. So they might be planning explanations for down the line. Explain it here and it would be a lot more satisfying, and they can still do more, but might need a little bit more creativity. That said, I don't know if any of the earlier Kong movies ever said where he came from. Did the 1933 original ever say? It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't think they did. It didn't seem to matter. Despite trashing this movie so much, I still enjoy it, but I doubt I'd rewatch it, except for the fights. It felt like eating a lot of junk food. Enjoyable while it lasted, but then you hate yourself after. Enough said. P.S. I enjoyed your stop-motion movie, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you.
I've done a little bit myself, and I know how much time that must have taken. I believe it felt like about 5 centuries. But it looked very good, and it was nice to see some of the toys freed. They come alive as in Toy Story. They definitely appreciated a bit of freedom. Rob is kind of a monster for keeping them locked up that way.
Right?
By the way, if you're interested for stop-motion inspiration, check out Phil Tippett's Mad God.
I will.
You can see the teaser trailer here. Let me put that in the live chat. Or buy it here for a very reasonable price. Hang on. Oh, man. I'm having a...
Aww.
See? There it is. Okay, Phil Tippett's Mad God. I won't forget that. The Wallace and Gromit stuff from Aardman Animation is also very well done. Wallace shares Rob's insane love of cheese. Oh, I love my love of cheese came from Elizabeth.
So, I mean, those are the movies that really inspired me. I mean, all stop motion. I love, even when I was a kid, the Christmas specials, the stop motion.
Oh, yeah, all the Rankin and Bass stuff.
Yeah, Great stuff.
And then Joe Dick says, au revoir. Au revoir. Great letter, Joe. Thanks for writing in. Let's see. Did I get everybody's letter? I think I might have one more letter.
A lot of letters.
This letter, another letter from. I'm going to skip that one. Well, it's short. Joe Dick also wrote, "Hey guys, I'm looking forward to your show about Primer. On first viewing, I found it incomprehensible, but in a good way. Even Einstein would have needed to see it twice. Although the story's great, I've heard criticism about it being grainy and hazy. I never noticed. That was a lot of out-of-focus stuff. But I saw it on DVD on a crappy TV. In this case, top-notch storytelling more than compensates for a lack of good looks. If it's a dog, at least it's got intellect and personality. And as Jules Winfield said, personality goes a long way. If you want suggestions for future shows, how about Last Night? Rob mentioned it on recent Robservations. It's pretty good. Or Only Lovers Left Alive, also good. How do you pronounce that? Bonne nuit,
Bonne nuit, mes amis.
How?
Good night, my friends.
Good night, my friend. Please say it again.
Bonne nuit.
Bonne nuit.
Nuit, mes amis.
Bonne nuit, mes amis.
That's pretty good.
How's my accent?
That was really good.
Bonne nuit, mes amis. All right. I'll take it.
We do need to pick another movie.
We do need to pick another movie.
do.
Well, hang on. We're not even done. We got people have been writing in here. Writing in since we started this show. So,
give us suggestions. We need to pick another movie.
we got to pick another movie. First of all, Robert, hang on, let me move this. Robert Conrad. Oh, see, I screwed it up. Look at that. I already screwed it up.
Screwed it up.
Robert Conrad sends in a tip. Robert says, hang on a minute. Can I put this back where it was? On the fly here. There you go. Robert Conrad says, "Hi, Rob and Elizabeth. Missed seeing you both together. I loved this movie. It was fun, silly, imaginative, creative, and over the top. The script was simple and the delivery was there. The graphic novel was brought to life, and I enjoyed every moment of it." That's good.
Yeah, it was all those things.
It was, yeah. Austin Hernandez says, "Hello, mates. This movie is one of my all-time favorites. Hope all is well." Well, thank you, Austin. Lord Kev sends in a super chat, says, "My Breakfast Club is basically, well, Detroit Rock City. Only because I'm metal." Yes, you are.
I haven't seen that.
Detroit Rock City is all about kids going to a Kiss concert. It's fucking metal.
That's totally metal.
Louis Terrazas, hello. 1 year of grad school down. Well, Louis,
Wow.
that's metal, dude.
That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
You helped a lot, Rob. I got to ask, is Elizabeth a believer? And why or why not? Oh, an aliens. He ends it with aliens.
A bully.
Are you a believer in aliens?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you are?
Fuck yeah. I believe in aliens.
You believe in aliens?
I do.
What kind of aliens?
All kinds of aliens.
Do you think aliens have visited Earth before?
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Do you
I
think
mean-
they're malevolent or benevolent? Are they here to help us or are they here to destroy us?
I want to think that they are friendly.
Would you say you want to believe
I want to believe.
that they're friendly?
Yeah.
Now that you've used both my Fox Mulder and...
Yeah, part 2 of my stop
By the way,
motion-
Elizabeth's Part 2 launches tomorrow. Doll Quest
Oh, yay.
2
Yes.
will go online. The second part
and,
of her...
And it talks about our origins.
It
and
does. It talks about
aliens.
aliens. It does talk about aliens. Cal, Swack Props. Swack Props is... Cal says... And Cal and I pretty much... We agree with... We have the same taste, Cal and I. He says, "This movie is an extended Nickelodeon cartoon episode. It's meant for a certain demographic that, unfortunately, I'm not a part of. Hence the reason I don't find it appealing. Despite the excellent cast, I watched this once and don't feel the need to do so again."
Yeah,
Well,
I get that.
200 Watt Studios says, "Saw the Indicator Blu-ray of China Syndrome. It's great. I have the China Syndrome on Blu-ray. Always love that film. Jack Lemmon is fantastic. Jane Fonda's character nails local news politics." I'm a huge fan of the China Syndrome. If you've never seen it, you should. It's about an accident at a California nuclear facility. It's terrifying. Terrifying.
I haven't seen it.
I think we did watch it, actually.
Wait, what is it called?
The China Syndrome.
Oh,
Jane
is that
Fonda's
the one-
in it. Michael Douglas is in it. And Jack Lemmon's in it.
Oh. I don't remember it.
It's really good.
We didn't do it for the show, did
No,
we?
no, no.
Okay.
No, no, no. No, you would remember. Louis Terraza sends in a super chat. Big dog, what the fuck? It's Michael Cera. Of course it's whack.
I have a Michael Cera story.
Okay, well, if you have a Michael Cera story, now's the time to tell it.
Okay, so I lived in Los Feliz, which is
Actually, hang on. Let me like change the camera. There you go.
okay. So I lived in Los Feliz, which is right next to Hollywood, and a lot of celebrities live there. And so I was the main road is called Los Feliz Boulevard, and it's a very wide. It's 5 lanes. It's almost a freeway, but it's a road that gets you from
Interstate 5.
Hollywood to an actual freeway.
Yes.
So it's got tons of traffic all the time. I lived on Los Feliz Boulevard. So I was leaving my apartment and I stopped at a stoplight, and who was crossing the street? Michael Cera, and he was wearing a little red backpack. And he turned and he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, and he was like,
Was that like, did you give him the nod like, hey, Michael Cera,
like,
come on
"Hey."
over here?
"Hey, I know who you are." And he was like, "Yeah, I know you know who I am."
Oh, is that okay? All right.
That was my Michael Cera story in Los Feliz.
That's good. I like that story. Swag Prop says, last year you mentioned that you guys will be reviewing Predestination. Oh, that's a good one. And I do hope you will soon. Being a time travel movie, it's right up Elizabeth's alley, and I'm curious to know what she thinks of the final twist.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay, that's our next movie.
Yay!
Which is going to be tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I think I showed it to you.
Maybe you have.
It stars Ethan Hawke. He's a bartender. And this girl starts a guy starts talking to him at the bar.
Maybe.
We should do it.
We should do it.
Predestination's great.
Let's
It's
do
one of my
it.
favorite time travel. That's what we're doing tomorrow. Predestination. There you go. Done. All right, Kyle. By the way,
Don't tell me you have it right there.
no,
Oh.
I have the 9 gates of the kingdom of heaven. For those of you who don't know, Cal from who has Swag Props, he makes paper products for movies. He makes fake books and things. This is one of my favorite things that I own that he sent me, and this is a perfect replica. By the way, I just happen to have this here.
Yeah, it was right
I was
there.
right, but
I wish I had he made me.
this is a replica of the 9 gates of the kingdom of heaven from Roman Polanski's The Ninth Gate, and by the way, when I got it, it comes in this oilcloth or whatever that is the same cloth that Johnny Depp was carrying this book around in. If you haven't seen The Ninth Gate, have we done The Ninth Gate? We haven't
We
even
should
done.
totally do
We got to do The Ninth Gate, and I can have this prop replica with me the entire time.
But what he made for me was the philosophy of time travel from Donnie Darko.
Yes, it's true.
I wish I had it here to show you.
So I got to wrap this up again because
Yeah, it's got to be.
I have to have it.
I can't believe you have it right
I know.
there.
Because why not? Why not? I like that. So
you
we're doing,
always
you
do
know what,
that.
Cal? We're doing it tomorrow. We're doing Predestination. Louis Terraza says, damn, that one letter was so touching. You are such a positive force, man, and why I'm such a big fan of you. Not like Campia, who can be a Grinch. Well, John and I are different. You know, I think John does a great job with his show, and I've certainly enjoyed my collaborative time with him. But, you know, he and I are different. But I appreciate everybody. Oh, look who's here. Dieter Bastian is here.
Dieter.
Dieter Bastian says, good morning, you two. Wait, what? Elizabeth hasn't seen Detroit Rock City? That would be my suggestion for the doubleheader with Bang, Boom, Bang. Well, we're going to have Dieter on the show.
Yeah, he has to be on the show.
He did ask. He did send in
Totally.
something and asked to be.
Isn't there an application to be on the show?
There is an app. If you want to come on the show with us, there's an application. Should we see if anybody wants to be on the show?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so for those of you who were here last time, if you've been zooming, if you're a zoomer, come on and zoom on, zoom. There's an old one for you.
Boy, that dates us.
Come on and zoom on, zoom. Or how about Boston, Mass 02134, send it to Zoom. Or how about I'm Bernadette? That's an old one. Remember that? So if you want to get on the show right now, if you want to come on to whining about movies, you can.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is you got to get prepared. It's going to be first come, first serve. And we are going to put you in the live chat for this show if you want. Now we're going to have to listen to it, on the headphones again because I haven't.
Oh yeah. Where is it? Is it even plugged in?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'll let you grab them.
Hang on, I'll do it. And so if you guys want, it's going to be first come, first serve. So get ready.
Yeah, here comes
Get
the
ready.
link.
I'm going to send you guys a
You
link.
have to have a microphone.
Yeah, you got to have a good microphone and a good camera.
Yeah.
So
And good internet.
and yeah, good internet. Good internet. Cuz if you're not good, you're out.
You're out.
You're out of the family, Tom. So anyway, so for those of you who are interested, kabam, there it is in the live chat. It is available if you want to come on this show right now. You can.
Come chat with us.
Come chat with us. We'll see if it's, we'll have to chat. We'll have to go on and on and on. Or, if you can sing the lyrics to a Sex Ba-Bomb tune, that might be pretty good.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, if you know or you're a Phantasm fan, maybe, 'cause I just like to have random movie things.
For this.
Oh, hey, come on. Why do you have to pick that up? That's from Clockwork Orange. That's the 6th scale Herman McKink's Rocking Machine. Oh, someone's here.
Ooh, who is it?
Well, I don't know who it is. I haven't looked yet. Let's see who it is. Scott. Scott again. It's Scott again. Hello, Scott. Scott is Johnny on the spot. Scott, you are here. We're going to put you in. Let me put you into the... By the way, I got you taking a big drag. I love that. That was a big pull right there that we had there. Wait,
we gotta share these.
Yeah. There you go. Hang on. Let's put you in.
Yeah, totally.
I know. What can you do? I'm going to put you in, Scott. Put you in, Scott. Put me in, Coach. Donnie the Dude is also here. So, first of all, why don't we make it a party? Because you can make it a party because we can do anything we want here. So, first of all, we got Scott in here. We're going to put Scott. Scott's going to be part of this, part of our little our roundup here. And let's add Donnie the Dude.
Donnie the Dude.
Let's wait till Donnie the Dude. There's Donnie the Dude. Oh man, Donnie the Dude. Scott, are you in Canada too?
Yes, sir.
I think Donnie the Dude's in Canada as well.
How do you know?
Oh, because Donnie
he
the
is.
Dude was on the show. Oh, these guys.
Was he on Metal?
Donnie was on fucking Metal. Donnie's fucking metal, man. Fucking metal. Ah! So let's
Dude, he's so... Okay, I can see.
Yeah, you can see him. Can you see Donnie the Dude? Donnie, we got two Canucks are here.
Say a boot.
A boot. Well, you know what? I have to say, this movie takes place in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we have Canucks with us is, I think, probably pretty apropos. So, and a Scott. So everybody, we got Scott and we've got Donnie the Dude. We're bringing him onto the show. Please welcome them to Elizabeth's Whining About Movies.
Welcome.
Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Now, let me ask you both, what do you think of Scott Pilgrim? Are you fans?
Yeah.
Hard no.
One yes.
Donnie, please proceed.
Michael Cera is pretty funny to me, but he did not suit this role in my opinion. This came out in what, 2009, 10 or something?
2010, the year
Right.
we
So
made
I
contact.
so yeah, I saw this in theaters. I was 20 and I didn't dig it. And then,
Scott gets
maybe
it.
as you get older, maybe you give it another chance. And I'm not a fan.
You know why,
It's,
Donnie? I don't think this movie's metal enough, to be honest.
It's
it's not
not.
bad.
It's
I love
fucking
goofy
pop. It's
comedies in it.
bubblegum.
It's come on, Sex
Honestly,
Bomb is alternative, right?
this movie
Let's not
reminded
go
me of
crazy.
watching that Speed Racer movie that came out in 2008 or whatever.
Ooh.
There's just like too much going on. Like,
Wait a minute. Do not, Donnie, do not disparage Speed Racer.
Well, Rob, if I may ask a question, which is better, Scott Pilgrim or Speed Racer?
Speed Racer is.
Agreed.
Yeah.
okay,
Speed
I'll
Racer's
agree on
better.
that one. I'll
Speed
agree on that
Racer's a
one.
great adaptation of the source material, actually. In terms
Agreed.
Of what, I mean, I'm a huge fan, but I understand, Donnie, Speed Racer is not for everyone.
But I enjoyed Speed Racer way more than Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what it was. It just felt a little bit out of tune.
Well, when it comes to flashing lights and colors, I prefer Speed Racer.
Yes.
Right.
Now, Scott, what did you think of Scott Pilgrim, though?
I love it.
You do.
Yeah, it's 2 hours of a music video that is amazing, that makes you feel uplifting, except everyone is vapid and terrible. It's like they have Seinfeld theme in the middle of it.
I know.
Like there is that moment where like bow, 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 bow,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, wait, how does this fit in? That was a
it
little
didn't
confusing.
fit.
It didn't fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, no, I like it because it's Canadian. There's
It
a
is Canadian.
Scot. And I enjoy the music.
Two check
And also,
marks.
I do enjoy, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But I do enjoy it when Scott learns self-actualization or whatever it is when he
Yep,
pulls the
yep.
sword out of his chest. Like there is a character development where he actually does learn how to be somewhat positive as a person. Somewhat.
That's true. That's true.
And yeah, the only thing that I think that in terms of my complaints with the movie, he should have ended up with knives.
I think
Yeah,
so, too.
I agree.
Because there was a genuine affection there, and I think the two of them, had a lot in common. And I think part of goes, they should have fought together the way they
Yeah,
danced in that thing in the
totally.
beginning.
But didn't they? Didn't they at the end?
But they didn't do
It's
the moves
been-
that they did. They weren't
They weren't in
synchronized
synchronous. Yeah, they weren't in sync the way
Yeah.
they were when they were.
when they were playing the video game.
Because it showed them in sync in the beginning, and then later on, when he wanted to break up with her, they were not in sync. And then I think at the end, in order to defeat the final ex-boyfriend,
Yeah.
they could have been in sync
In
again.
sync.
But that might have. I mean, I thought it was unearned when he leaves with Ramona Flowers at the end. Like, she doesn't deserve him. What's?
He doesn't deserve her.
That's true too. That's
So
true too.
yeah. Have you guys ever played Dance Dance Revolution?
Yes.
I haven't. That'd be fun to do.
You've
with
never
you.
played Dance Dance Revolution?
No.
You never even got
Although
the
we had
controller.
My kids had the Wii dance.
All right.
That
The
counts.
Wii game.
Yeah.
That counts, right? That was so fun.
Dance
Yeah, sure.
Dance, Dance Dance Revolution was fun.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
totally.
got a virtual skiing thing where you
I
put
did.
on. It's actually a thing which I'm too heavy to play on. I have to lose a little bit more. I've been losing weight, but I have to lose more to do the virtual skiing.
Yeah, it has virtual glasses, and then like you exercise on this thing.
Yeah, it's
like, you're
literally got the
skiing.
like Oculus,
Yeah.
and you're skiing. It's awesome. I
And
could.
You collect snowflakes. It's really fun.
Wow.
Do you know how to lose weight, Rob?
Yes, exercise and diet.
Oh
And
no,
less drinking.
easier than that. Easier than that. Dance Dance Revolution.
That is true. That would actually be. You know what? I'm gonna set up a station here where I can do other things, like so I can film.
Don't
myself.
lie to me.
No, I'm right over there. But it would be very funny to set up that kind of thing and do Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Like have a Dance Dance Revolution Zoom party.
yes.
Where and you have to start the same thing and so everybody's doing the same. See who gets the best. See
They're both like.
Make sure you're doing it with a glass of wine.
Oh no, I'm in.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
in.
with a glass of wine. That would be even better. That would be metal.
Yeah.
I don't think wine is metal.
It's not. That's why I gotta get whiskey for tonight. Gotta get whiskey.
Spritzers are metal.
Spritzers are
May I
metal.
may I just say cheers to you, Rob and Elizabeth?
Cheers. What do you have?
It's a beer, Canadian.
Yeah, it's Canada.
Oh, it's
Canada,
Pilsner.
so it's beer.
Canada.
All right, well, listen, gentlemen. I'm gonna see if maybe we'll have 2 more people on. I want to thank you both for coming on.
Yes, thank you. This
Thank
is
you
so
for having
good.
us.
And I'm going to disconnect you guys. And,
Okay,
Rob,
bye.
you're going to Meta
What?
We should
tonight,
ask
right?
them how many glasses they give the film.
Oh yeah, how many glasses do you give Scott Pilgrim?
Out of 5 glasses,
4 glasses.
4 glasses. 4 glasses.
Donnie, you go first.
I give it a glass and a half.
All right. Scott,
I'm gonna 3.
3 glasses.
3.
All right. All
Okay,
right, that's pretty
thank
good.
you.
Not bad. Well,
Thank you
I
again.
want to thank both Scott and Donnie, the dude, for coming on. They are both people that have been on the show before. Love to have them because, Canadians are Canadians. They're better than just rest of us. I don't know why.
Yeah, they eat poutine.
It's true. They are, and it's hard
They
to
put
explain.
gravy on fries. Like, what's better than that?
That's poutine.
Poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All right,
awesome.
well. Okay. Could be.
You know how much I love fries.
I do. I do know how much you love fries. Yes, I do. All right, so one more time. If you want another chance to get on this show,
Come on in.
we're going to let you in. There's a link. First time, or first come, first serve. I hope Tululu's not barking.
She
She
was
peed on the
barking.
floor.
She stopped barking. Who knows what happened?
I don't know what happened. Well, we don't know. We shall see, though. We shall find out.
I think everyone else is being shy.
Everyone else is being shy. Well, sometimes there's a delay, so they don't know
Oh, that's true.
yet. They don't know yet. Well, maybe the link didn't work. Hang on, let me try it again. Put in, hey, maybe everybody is shy. I don't know. Let's see. I'll try it one more time. See if anybody comes in. Well, anyway, Michael Preston sends in a super chat and says, how about reviewing De Lovely or The Legend of 1900? Both excellent movies. Glad WINEning is back. Those are both good movies. Those wouldn't be De Lovely. Both of those are actually pretty good.
I haven't seen either.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, I saw De Lovely. I've seen 1900, but not The Legend of 1900. Is that a different movie? Mr. Tickle Trunk sends in a super chat and said, so glad I can see one of these live again. Well, Mr. Tickle Trunk,
Yay.
it's good to have you.
Yes.
Well, I guess no one's jumping in.
Everyone's shy.
Everyone's shy. So on that note, I know I can see that my milkshake brings all the boys to the yards. Like, hold on, I'm coming.
Oh.
But okay, we're gonna wait for you a little bit. Maybe. Almost there. Stay on target. Oh, he says it's not working. All right, well, Elizabeth, then let's do this.
All right.
We come down to it.
It's down to it.
It's down to it. What is our scale? What is our
scale? Our bottoms up
our bottoms up scale?
is from 1 to 4 glasses.
1 to 4 glasses. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Before we do that, somebody is here. Shall we see who it is?
Let's see.
Oh, we've got 2 people.
Oh.
We've got I'm back. Oh, Donnie's back.
Donnie's back.
Put Donnie back in.
He had more to say.
He had more to say. We're gonna put Donnie back in. Hang on, let me. He's back. We're gonna put him in. Hang on. Put me in, coach. Hang on. I have to go up there and add him back. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm talking about. We're adding Donnie back in, and Darren Seeley, our own Darren Seeley, is here. So put Donnie there, and let me add in.
Reference like I'm back.
Yes, yes, and Darren Seeley is here. Or wait a minute, hang on, I have to put him in first. I have to add him to Rendezvous, and then I can put him in. Will Darren appear?
It's a black screen.
Waiting for connections. I don't know. Darren, are you not here, Darren?
Earth to Darren.
Earth to Darren. Darren, we don't see Darren.
That's funny. That's my brother's name.
Really?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and I kind of say the same thing.
Earth to Darren.
Earth to Darren. Oh wait.
Oh, we saw
Darren,
it for a second.
I 86'd you. Come back, Darren. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to 86 you. I disconnected. Connect again. Connect again, Darren. Come back. Uh-oh, wait. Somebody was already waiting. Michael is here. Darren got 86. Darren, I'm sorry. I'm going to add Michael in here.
You were booted out, Darren.
I did that.
Turn my light back on.
I can't believe I 86'd one of our own.
Wow.
Well, this is interesting that it's not. Oh, I see. You're looking. Your phone. This is your phone. We're seeing you in the phone thing here. I see. I got it.
Yeah, I'm at work.
All right. Well, we're gonna put you in. I'll move my face over so you can be like, hey.
That's cool that the phone works.
Of course, the phone works. So we got I'm back. Donnie the D is back, and then we have Michael jumping on the show. Gentlemen, first of all, Donnie the D, what did you forget to tell us?
I don't know. I just wanted to jump back in.
Oh, well, here's to you, sir.
He didn't want us to end the show.
You didn't want us to end the show, and now Michael.
Well, I just figured nobody else was jumping in, so like, hey, I'll come back.
Hell yeah, that's what I like. I like the initiative. Now, Michael, we have to ask you, since you're new, what do you think of Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
One of my favorite movies for that type of genre. I love video games. I love that type of. It was just crazy. It was wild. It was nothing. It wasn't normal, and it was pretty decent compared to the comics. So.
Now, what are some of your favorite video games of all time?
I started with Legend of Zelda. That has to be one of the best. Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers. But very first game I played was Pong.
Right.
On the I think it was just a game system called Pong.
Yeah.
It was one game, and with paddles. It was great.
We had a Telstar. It was a thing that you had the two controls on the one flat thing, and you could play.
Yep,
Pong,
that's what it is.
Handball and tennis or something, or hockey. It was handball. It was Pong, handball, and hockey. The same thing, but you know. So.
Oh, and I wanted to say one thing quickly. The Legend of 1900 is with Tim Robbins. It's about a jazz singer that's born on a boat at the beginning of the year 1900. Excellent movie.
Oh, I'd watch that.
That sounds really cool.
All right.
I think we should do that.
And they name him 1900 because he's like the first person born.
I feel like I've seen
January 1st, 1900.
I'd watch that. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it. I'd watch it. Yeah. Michael, have you seen
I have
it?
a question. Or sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just what. Please.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it several times. My wife loves it. So.
Oh, what are you gonna say, Donnie?
So you are like, all your knowledge of movies is way out of the field. Yes. Has Elizabeth ever introduced you to a movie that you never had any idea about?
Oh yes.
We even did one for this show.
Yep. There was a movie.
Actually, we've done two movies that he had never seen.
I had a huge gaping.
Wait, never seen or never heard of.
Not that I never heard of.
Oh, there's one movie he hasn't heard of that I still can't get him to watch. Even though Kate Winslet.
What do you mean that I haven't heard of?
Yeah, because when I brought it up, you're like, I haven't heard of that movie.
What movie is that?
The Child and the Fox.
Oh, I do. Yeah, that is true. I do not know that movie.
Okay.
I do not know The Child and the Fox.
It's a very sweet movie.
But the movie that I'd heard of that I've never watched that took you years to get me to watch, I was so adverse to watching this movie, which it shames me.
You should be ashamed.
The Sound of Music.
Oh,
I watched The Sound
love
of
that
Music.
I'd never want, even though Robert Wise directed Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Years of struggle.
Years of struggle. You even bought me the Blu-ray.
He refused. And finally,
that's like almost saying you've never seen The Wizard of Oz.
You've never seen The Wizard of Oz?
No, I'm comparing it. It's like
right.
saying you've never seen.
I know.
But the second one that you had never seen, although you don't like when I admit this.
Yeah, don't say it.
Okay.
Come on now. You got to watch my back too sometimes.
I'm watching your back.
Yeah. No, but The Sound of Music was bad.
That was bad.
That was bad. It was
And
bad.
you ended up.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. What a surprise. The Sound of Music's a good movie. One of the most beloved movies maybe ever made, and it turns out to be good.
It's really good.
It is really good. I can't complain.
Because the hills are alive.
Well, gentlemen, let me ask you this. Why don't you give the crowd, what are some of your, couple of your favorite movies? Let's start, Michael, with you.
Star Wars, of course. Raiders of the Lost Ark, spectacular, of course. The Lord of the Rings trilogy was clearly as close to a adaptation as you were going to get.
Yeah,
of course.
Totally agree.
All the complaints of Tom Bombadil wasn't in it, but I mean, it was a movie that had to actually be shown in the theater, and we couldn't have it 6 hours. But other than that, it was just so close. And then the other thing, the only problem I had was that they didn't show the death of Saruman in the theatrical version,
right?
Which was, and once again, you couldn't do the Scouring of the Shire either, because that's like you beat the biggest bad of all, and then you got to go and kick the crap out of a child.
Yeah.
I mean, in the book it works perfectly, but in a movie, it's like I faced Darth Vader. Now I'm going to go beat up some stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So movie-wise, I don't believe it would work. But
I agree.
I loved that. That is possibly my favorite of all time, though.
What about you, Donnie?
We kind of touched on this on Metal Midnight or
Metal at Midnight.
Metal, which we're going to do tonight.
Right on. Maybe I'll see you there if the beer.
Maybe I'll bring you on there.
All right. Yeah, we kind of touched on that. One I forgot, Alien. Probably my all-time favorite.
Alien's a perfect movie.
Great.
Alien. I love Alien more than Aliens.
Yeah, me too. I think Alien is a perfect movie.
Yeah. And then I said Stand By Me. Oh, geez, so many tough. Star Wars for sure. Like original 4, 5, 6. Well, probably 4, 5.
Yep.
I could maybe let 6 go.
Oh, come on,
Come on, man. No, he's right.
Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, Dark Knight.
Oh, that's great.
Shit, so many other choices, but if I'm gonna go popcorn movie, I'm gonna say Guardians #1.
Nice. All right. By the way, Michael, where are you at? We know that Donnie's in Canada. Where are you at?
I'm in Agawam, Mass. I'm at work right now. I work for Domino's.
Wow, nice. Hence the pin.
Yep.
What's your favorite Domino's pizza?
Hawaiian.
Actually, their best is their buffalo chicken right now.
Real? Okay. All right.
Actually, you want to know a fun fact about Hawaiian pizza?
Yes.
Yes.
It was created in Canada.
Really? I could see.
Yep.
Only Canadians would put pineapple on pizza. Come on.
And they call it Hawaiian.
Yeah. I like that. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for jumping on and being on Whining About Movies on our 127th episode. Thank you both for being here.
Yes.
We're gonna
thank you guys. I just want to say I love you guys. I love watching you two together.
Aww.
You are the best couple, other than me and my wife. But other than that, I still watch you on my 100-inch screen when I'm at home.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
That's scary.
I was the one who told you about I have the projector with the 100-inch screen.
I need to exfoliate before I come on now.
Oh man.
Elizabeth, you look so vibrant.
Ask Michael how many glasses.
Oh yeah, Michael, how many glasses would you give Scott Pilgrim?
I give it 4.5.
4. That's more than you can give it. You can only give it 1 to 4.
1 to 4 glasses.
I thought you said I heard 5, but okay, I can give it 3.5 then.
3.5. All right,
Awesome.
3.5's good. All right, gentlemen, thank you for being here. You could give 4. You could give 4 glasses. You just have to give it. You'd have to get another bottle of wine. because there's only four glasses in a bottle of wine.
No, it's
so
like
you'd have
Scott
to get a
Pilgrim
second
means
bottle
like
of wine.
eight.
So
A
if you
second
want to
bottle
give it,
of wine.
if you want to give it 4.5 glasses, you can, because that means you've opened a second bottle of wine, which makes you.
We have a
my
wine
kinda
fridge.
Guy. That's
That makes
fucking
you
metal,
metal.
dude. That's fucking.
We have a
metal.
wine fridge.
Nice.
I'll give it 7, 8 glasses just so I can get through that movie.
All right,
He
gentlemen.
needs the wine to get
I will.
through it.
I will see you later. Well, thanks to Michael and Donnie for being here. I appreciate them, and what a fun time we are having doing that. Don't you love getting people on the show?
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's fun, isn't it? It's pretty fun. I mean, I like it, because you never know who you're gonna get. You know what I mean? You
Life
don't.
is like a box of chocolates.
It is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. All right. Well, anyway, so what are we giving this movie?
All right.
Our bottoms up scale. Our bottoms up scale is what?
Our bottoms up scale is from 1 to 4 glasses because there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
In a bottle. And on a scale of 1 to 4, what do you give Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
I will give it 2.5 glasses.
That's what I'm giving it.
Because it's a good movie. The story's a little lacking, but the filmmaking is beautiful.
It is beautiful, and the cast is
The
great.
cast is amazing. Yeah, that's what I give it.
All right, I too give it 2.5 glasses. And Comic Doctor, who is also in Canada. We've got the whole Canadian contingent here.
Wow.
By the way, if you want to have someone hook you up to make your comic books ready to get slab with CGC and get graded, the Comic Doctor is your man. He's the man with the plan, and he will clean and press your comics. He'll make them look better than they've ever looked. So go to his website, look up the Comic Doctor,
We're sending you a box.
and tell him we are the mythical box that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and
No,
bigger.
we're doing it because we are doing a thorough cleaning of the observatory.
Yes, we are.
And we are sending you that box.
Yes, we are.
You didn't read his super chat.
I haven't got to it yet. Comic Doctor says, "Happy Mother's Day, Elizabeth."
Thank you so much.
Well, there you go.
That's very sweet.
And on that note, everyone, we're coming back tomorrow with Predestination. Predestination, the movie by the Spears brothers.
Awesome.
Spears, is that how you pronounce the
I'm
name?
excited to see it.
Starring Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite time travel science fiction movies of the last 20 years, to be honest. Based on the Robert Heinlein story, All You Zombies. So zombies aren't in it.
Oh.
There's no zombies in it. And you're going to say about 20 minutes in, you're going to be like, you showed me this movie.
I probably will.
So tomorrow's Predestination.
Awesome.
And on that note, we would say thank you to my moderating staff.
We didn't say the...
We haven't said. I'm just saying thank you to the moderating staff.
okay.
Darren Seeley, sorry you couldn't get on. Brian Hepburn is
Bummer.
here. I don't know if Mike Bodden's here or the Richard's here, but you
Darren
guys...
gave it 1.5 glasses.
He did? 1.5
I
glasses?
thought that's what I saw.
Well, he might have. I'm not sure. And Dieter Bastian was here. You can always see Dieter Bastian and I. We have to move. By the way, Dieter. Shit. I was going to ask. I don't have anything to show this week, but you know what? We're going to have to postpone our show because of Mother's Day.
Unless you do it early.
No, we're going to have to. Well, I'll talk to Dieter about that. It's Mother's Day in America, Dieter. I don't know. We might have to postpone our show this week, which could be good for me.
Take a little break because you don't have any movies
I
to
don't have
show.
anything to show. I got a lot of stuff coming, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. So thank you to my moderating staff. They do a great job. Now take us out. What do we do? What do we say?
Everyone you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen.
All you have to do is listen. And with that, we say to all of you,
Have a better
have
night.
a better night.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow night. Predestination. Woohoo!